Hello and welcome everyone to the round 7 recap of the Tata Steel Chess Tournament 2021. And what an amazing day of chess we had. 5 of the 7 games ended in decisive results, and at the end, it was an amazing round with plenty of action, and that just changed the standings completely. And for the first time in recent years, we have two Dutchmen leading the local tournament at YKNZ in Netherlands. And what an amazing start for them at almost the midway of the tournament. And let's jump right into the results. So, as you can see, Fabiano beat MVL in a very nice game. And then Anish Giri, the local, who beat the former leader Nils Grandelius, the overnight leader, and is now in the joint lead alongside a new upcoming star for the Netherlands. And before that, up the just people below the in the bottom half of the event, Andriy Esipenko beat Wojtaszek in a very nice game as well. Firuza beating Dudayan Christoph and is again now in the reckoning here, and he has bounced back from his rather submissive start. And finally, Jordan Van Foreest beating Anish Giri when, like, sorry, Jordan Van beat Aryan Tari when Aryan didn't really do justice from the white pieces for his plans there. And finally, Magnus Carlsen and Hari Krishna drew in a rather very explode opening line, and that's a good result for India and for Hari Krishna, as Hari was playing with the black pieces and he's just half point of the leaders, and he has very good chances to win this event in the second half. So let's check in with our leaders here. So as you can see, Van Forest and Giri lead the event. Caruana and Firuza are also in the joint lead with 4.5 out of 7. Hari Krishna, Magnus, Grandelius, and many others are on 4, while sadly David Anton and Donchenko are at the tail end of the tournament at the midway stage. So let's check in with Hari in our first segment, and it was a rather quick draw, I would say, because like compared to Carlsen's standards, because Carlsen is one of those players who fights till the end. So here we have the Taimano variation of the Sicilian, and it's rather everything was explored or played at some point, so there was nothing new. But and Hari Krishna was extremely well prepared, so this is a very good example for you guys. If you want to prepare and play Magnus Carlsen, it is very advisable to have your opening zig check. You get a slightly minus position because of this pawn on e6, and it's almost like a passed pawn, but this advantage is never really enough because of these weakened pawns. And this king, remember, if your opponent has a passed pawn, it's very nice if your king is around, because this king can just is just 2 squares away. If the king is far away, then it becomes a much more powerful threat for yourself. And you can see quite well played. And yes, around Harikrishna started thinking here for the first time in the game, and it ended very quickly. Like, it was just all over in 1.5 or 2 hours. That just shows the preparation of both the players as well. And I mean, sadly, it is a letdown from Magnus, because we always expect the best from him. And as you can see, just there's nothing to play for. In fact, Hari Krishna is the one who can try a bit. Just a sample variation would be like they ended agreed for a draw here, but rook b7 check, king f8. Again, you have to defend this pawn. And yeah, here as well, 3 versus 2. There's not much happening. So a rather good result for us Indians and Hari Krishna, but I'm sure Carlsen would not happy. And as Dubov said recently, that Magnus Carlsen is never happy with a draw, and that will prove, like, I mean, that is definite after this result, and I'm sure Magnus will bounce back. But guys, do note, this is Carlsen's 6th draw in a row. I mean, that's generally Anish's job, but here even 6 draws in a row is just too much. But you can never counter Carlsen, and he's just half a point behind both of these players, Carlsen and Hari. So that was a nice round for Hari Krishna, and now let's check in with our game-changing moments, guys. So in our first game, we have Firuza versus Durai Jan Christoph, and it all started rather badly for Duda, and I'll just show you the moment where he blundered. And yes, in this position, split cd4, which is not a nice move, guys, because knight d4 comes in. This is threatened, and black is just doomed. And this is also one of our quick tips that I'll tell you later, because after e5, knight e6, this is hanging, and I mean, it was a gift playing pawn takes d4. Black could have gone c4 or just kept the tension, but after cd4 knight it's just so much advantage for black. Even okay, you get a check in, you could have given a check, but the king just slides over. And here is a very instructive point. After your opponent has blundered, just take care of your king and you'll win the game, guys. Just slide it across. Just see what Firuzha does. Make sure his king is safe and then brings the rook and the other pieces in. And timely sacrifices this because he knows this end game is winning. Like after he wins this pawn, it's just too much for white. So Duda tries an ambitious bishop sacrifice, but it's never really enough. And uh, just Firuzha consolidates nicely and wins a very nice game. And rather more of a gift for Firuzha, and he's back in the lead. And yes, your rook h1 checkmate is very difficult to defend. You have to give up the rook. So Duda resigned, and a very nice game by Firuzha to join the leaders. Let's check in with our other win, that is between Aryan Chari and Jordan Van Foreest. And yes, this was a Spanish year, but I'll show you a very peculiar position that we got. Quite a decent opening for Tari, but he couldn't really build up on that. And yes, the position is right here, guys. And boom! Have you ever seen this, guys? Have you ever seen these four knights? I mean, it's out of this world. I've never seen this position like of four knights, but it's too much activity. I mean, these two knights for white aren't doing much, but this king is going to be under fire. You know, you see all of these pieces are looking at this king, so it's very difficult. And of course, you cannot take because of knight e2 check, forking the queen and the king. And yes, so rook e1 follows. He gets his bishop. Now these two knights are fragile, and they are gonna fall pretty soon. Again, a nice pin by Jordan, and now it's just game over. I mean, just nothing. Black loses. Black wins a piece, and white loses without even a fight here actually. And again, one more gift for Van Foreest, but nothing to take away from this young lad. He played in the last Tata Steel event as well, and he finished with a very incredible score. But this year might just be his moment, guys. So well done, Jordan. And lastly, another result, that is between Caruana and Fabiano, and that happened after the poison pawn variation of the Sicilian. And it is, I mean, MVL plays this Najdorf only, and it was rather a Sicilian gone wrong, because in this moment is a tactical shot of the day. So we have given up a couple of pawns, and it feels that this king has to be stopped from castling. So if you are playing for the initiative, guys, boom, hit it. Don't allow your opponent to escape, and always take the initiative and never let it go. Keep building on it. Keep opening up more lines, bringing more pieces. That is what Caruana does with pawn to e6, guys. Just open up more stuff. MVL says, now see, this diagonal is open. So this is what I'm telling about. Don't let your opponent rest. Keep hitting him. Now again, you know, something like, oops, this is a nice idea again. Rerouting the bishop here. And yes, he does that. And even though, guys, the queens are exchanged, doesn't mean black is out of the woods, because look at these pieces. This is a very nice position actually. Look at them. Look at them. And here in return, you can see these pieces all nicely developed except the rook on h1. And this pawn is going to be the killer for MVL. And that just happened. You can see very powerful game by Fabi. And I think it was an effortless win here. And now this pawn will decide the game in white's favor. And white is 2 pawns up. MVL resigned, and Caruana is back in the reckoning. Joins the leaders with 4.5 out of 7. Lastly, our quick tips, guys, is just from the game we saw Caruana versus MVL. Development advantage, long lasting. Doesn't matter if the queens are traded, the advantage goes on. As we saw in the position, all of black's pieces were on the back rank, but white's pieces were ready to attack and pounce. And secondly, punish your opponent's blunders accurately. It's not just Firuzha got the exchange with knight d4, knight d6, but look how he brought his king aside, consolidated, and won an effortless game. Even in Tari versus Jordan Van Foreest played a very nice game once. Tari misplayed his middle game there. And lastly, guys, it's the pairings of the round, and the last round before the second rest day. So today, again, it's going to be super fun. And I'm really looking forward to Hari Krishna Ali Reza. And it's going to be an epic day, guys. Esipenko versus Carlson might just be the game that Carlson needs to, start winning and get into the groove. And nobody likes to lose just before a rest day, but Magnus Carlsen will put him to the test. MVL Jordan Van Forest is again an important game for the standings, as well as the mouth-watering clash of Caruana versus Anish Giri. I'll be there at 6:30 again to check the live games on chess.com TV. We have Sopiko Gurabnishvili, Anish Giri's wife, as well as an international master in WGM, to commentate for Tata Steel on chess.com, as well as we have plenty of guest stars and other GMs as well. So 6:30 guys, the action starts. If you by chance miss it, I'll bring you the recap again tomorrow. And we have a rest day, guys, after this game. So the players are going to fight it out, I feel, today. So join in at 6:30, and till then, I hope you all are enjoying the event, and let us know in the comments which you think is the best game so far.